I don't think any of that's going to be in the episode.
Oh,
I think
that's a
it's just a
shame.
little bit. It's a bit crude. It's a bit below
I
us.
think. Well, then in that case, just start it from. I don't think any of that's going to be in the episode.
Yes, and we'll leave it to the imagination.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm well.
So
I'm doing well. How are you?
yeah, good. I just scoffed my dinner, so I wasn't keeping you waiting too long.
Oh no, you shouldn't have. You should have
Absolutely.
saved it.
I didn't savor.
Oh
I'd
no.
never savor really.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
savor? I'm not good at savoring.
I'm quite a slow eater, to be honest.
Oh,
I
I'm
tend
so
to be the
fast.
person who's always last. Not that it's a
Oh, I'm
race. I don't feel
first.
like it's competitive, and I don't feel like that you should feel superior for finishing before me. But I do tend to be the last one.
I feel inferior for finishing first.
Okay, good. So there is a certain kind of like smug, oh, done already, that I
Yeah,
like to
because
project.
food should be like sex. Like you don't want to be the first as a man. Well, actually, that doesn't apply to you, does it?
Yeah, one of us has to be.
Yeah, I guess actually that's a dynamic I've never thought about. How do you get around that? Is there any premature ejaculation?
Well, of course, but it depends on the people and the circumstances and the positions and
I guess it's a pressure that you don't have because
the
okay, so this is
there's a much higher likelihood that both parties are going to exit the transaction feeling satisfied.
yes, yeah, because
So the order doesn't matter as much.
it's very interesting to me because there's a lot to be said for like the way that men act in sexual situations, and a lot of it's valid. But there is also, I think, what people don't talk about is the fact that in sex, the pressure is largely with men. And in heteronormative sexual situations, the pressure is on the man to not only not come too fast, but also to maintain an erection.
Yeah.
So I guess in a homosexual relationship, a homosexual setting, that there's at least an understanding of like, I get it, bloke to bloke.
Yeah.
But then there's also you
Well,
kind
and
of
there's no like let's say there's a top situation and the top comes first. There's still nothing preventing the bottom from coming, right? Whereas
Sure.
in a female and male combination, that if the
Yeah.
man has come and if he's not hard or whatever, it becomes, well, I'm presuming, more difficult to satisfy the woman if you can't perform then afterwards. Whereas, in a gay relationship, you've got plenty of other options there.
Yeah, extremely difficult to satisfy women in my experience, just in general.
It's like that.
But
It's like that Ben Shapiro own goal. Did you remember that tweet?
no, but I love Ben Shapiro.
Oh, I hope ironically.
Bring it up. By the way, I love that we talked about.
that we
And we were like,
cannot talk
no,
about.
we
We will not
can't-
talk about
we
the
can't.
stuff that we would not talk about. But this is this is arguably worse, and definitely, I guess, where the podcast is starting.
This is just our default state. This is our natural state. Is this WAP?
This was the WAP stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Wet ass penis.
I don't think that's what it is. Okay, so in 2020, Ben Shapiro was, for some reason, talking about WAP on his show. And, he was saying that it's misogynistic to question whether the graphic descriptions of wet ass pussy is empowering for women. Did I sound straight then? Just let me know. Did I come across as straight?
Very extremely straight.
Cool. As I discussed on the show, my only real concern is that the women involved, who apparently require a bucket and a mop, get the medical care they require. My doctor wife's differential diagnosis, bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, or trichomonas. Trichomonas. I don't know that one.
Yeah, the last one was correct.
Okay, thank you. Or effectively, a woman who gets wet in his presence is suffering from a disease. So it was roundly ridiculed at the fact that it was an impressive sort of self-own that no woman in his presence had ever got wet for him.
Well, I think everyone knew that, didn't they?
They
already
did know that.
But he is married, so at least one woman has endured sexual intercourse with him a couple of times.
And it would be endured. It does. He gives that energy.
He just wouldn't shut up the whole time, would
I'm
he?
picturing like the Energizer Bunny, but not in a good way, like in a really robotic, stiff way.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a mannequin.
Yeah, he'd be ranting about, Jake Tapper the whole time.
Well, that's actually my kink, having someone talk about Jake Tapper as I'm... Anyway.
Dude, Jake Tapper is a seriously hot guy. I mean, I think if I were to choose any man, it would be...
Jake Tapper?
My type would be Jake Tapper.
Let me refresh my memory. Make sure we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, baby. He's
got a silver fox energy. I'll give you that.
He's got a something. He's like my type of guy. He's like, he can be funny when he wants to. He's very charming. He's smart.
He's very smart.
Handsome.
Yeah,
I mean, this is just my type of guy,
Welcome to Deep Fort, everybody. This is a podcast, and it's just a delight to have your ears connected to the device you've chosen to play our audio for you today. Sitting through the internet with me, my friend Michael.
Hello, Nick and everyone.
Oh, thank you for saying hello.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I insist.
Well, I insist more, so.
And I'm Nick.
How you been?
Hi, Nick. Hi. How have
New
I
job?
been?
Settling into new job?
New job's fine. We discussed it last time. It's all good.
Nothing's changed.
Going camping on the weekend, so that's fun.
Oh, where are you going?
Yeah, going to Wilson's Prom-ish, kind of just outside of Wilson's Prom, which is a very, campy, not campy,
Campgroundy. Camping.
It's a destination for camp goers.
I don't think you can say that.
I'll be bringing the camp.
I don't think you can say that. Yeah.
But I was saying this to my housemate. I was like, I'm going camping on the weekend. And she's like, I was like, She goes, yeah, you don't strike me as someone who camps.
I can definitely picture you in traditional dad camping outfit. Like short shorts, sitting on like a camping chair, like an unfoldable camping chair, bucket hat, like with a strip of sort of zinc sunblock across the nose.
Yeah.
Beer in hand.
I think I do give off dad vibes. I'm like...
It's the slovenly nature.
Okay. I don't think it's that. I think it's more like the
overweight
outdoorsmanship is. No, it's more that I'm like in touch with, the earth.
Right.
The elements. It's more
in
that.
touch with the earth.
And I've got dad jokes. I've got regular jokes.
You do. I will give you that. You do have dad jokes. How are you in touch with the earth?
I literally touch the earth all the time.
Okay, I don't know that has the same meaning that you're thinking it does.
Well, you can take it literally, and you can take it metaphorically. I just choose to take it literally.
I suppose that's true.
I'm in touch with the earth because I touch the earth with my hands and my feet.
You don't touch it with your feet though. You often have shoes on, don't you?
I don't.
If anything, you've sort of arbitrarily separated yourself from the earth.
That's a good point. There is a little bit of separation between me and the earth, which is why I need to go back.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Which
is
why I need to go
reconnect.
camping.
They often recommend that when you wander out into the Australian bush that you should go barefoot.
Yeah, I think I prefer barefoot. Like that's my favorite shoe is no shoe. Do you agree?
Oh no!
It's such a different feeling. It's a freeing.
I mean,
feeling.
am I barefoot right now? Absolutely, but I'm
not
home.
even barefoot right now.
Really?
Which is weird. I'm wearing sandals.
You're wearing Crocs. Those are Crocs.
I'm wearing socks and sandals.
You're wearing
Birkenstocks.
Jeez.
But anyway, yeah, keen to get out of the city.
You are a dad.
Love a. You know what I love about camping, and I've been twice. So.
So I know what I'm talking about.
My favorite thing about camping, having been a handful of times,
Campist. Yep.
is going for a morning dip in the ocean when it's freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get around the cold?
So
cold
it does.
dip?
Camping with beach access is a different thing altogether, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, sure.
That's a different thing than like bush camping, isn't it?
Well, the only times I've been camping has been by the beach.
Okay, so you're sort of a imposter.
I wouldn't go. I don't think I would like to go camping if the beach was. If there wasn't like a body of water nearby, I wouldn't like to go.
Yeah, but you could go like up sort of by a river. Would a river count?
There's not many rivers around here. Anyway, we're getting too into this, but anyway, I'm excited to go. Skinny dipping in the morning, in the cold ocean.
Yeah.
And
so you have an excuse.
Yeah, that's another funny one that you have to, if you're going with that's another one that if you're at a relationship with another man, you understand that, but in relationships that I've been in, I have had to, it's not really come up that much. That's what she said, but I've had to explain that, like, if we're going for a skinny dip in the cold ocean, that I'm gonna have to hide some things from you because women don't get it.
Well, but when a woman gets in the water, their breasts shrink, so they don't understand.
That's true.
From that, like when they sort of like sink in back into the body.
Yeah, I have noticed that. But I don't know, women are just more like confident in themselves. Like even a shrunk tit is better than a shrunk dick.
Well, I was joking. Do tits actually shrink in the cold? Surely not.
No, they don't. If anything, they get bigger.
What?
Because the nipples get smaller, which makes the whole breast look bigger.
So like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's so much complexity to the straight man's life that I just...
A lot of science as well.
A lot of science. A lot of science. A lot of, medical stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of science, Nick, I know we've got some big ticket items to get on the menu tonight, but it's just turned Halloween. So I've been saving this very, very spooky seance news for the end of the show, just because it's Halloween themed, and like I'm a little bit.
I mean, this is gonna go up early November, so we will be at least a week late from when Halloween was.
There's an afterglow of Halloween.
Okay, because I feel like for a lot of people, particularly I suppose in America where Halloween's celebrated most prominently, I feel like they're more in like a Thanksgiving vibe now.
Yeah, no. So this is the thing about Halloween, and it's also not true for Christmas, but it is true for Halloween, and I'll tell you why. With Halloween,
said what it is yet?
Yeah. I'll get to all of this. With Halloween, it's about bringing out the ghouls and the goblins, the ghosts, the spooky, the others. Now, when Halloween finishes, they can't just go away immediately at midnight. They have to like transition away, which is why you have a kind of a week's grace either side. Now with Christmas, Christmas is about Santa Claus coming to your house and eating your shit and then giving you stuff that you asked for or didn't ask for, in my case. And then he's kind of off, and he needs to kind of get on with other stuff. So that's why Christmas kind of is over in a flash.
So you feel
My mum
like
is calling me weirdly.
Okay, take it on the pod.
Oh, I should have. Nah, I won't. I'll call her back. I'll say, call you back, Mum. Doing another excellent pod. Oh, she's calling me again. Hold on. Hey, Mum, how you doing? Hi. Hey, I'm just recording a pod with Nick. He's right there.
Okay.
That's him.
Hi, Nick.
He's saying hi.
Hey.
Can can I call you back? And also, do you want to just say anything on the podcast real quick?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you want to just say that you love the podcast and that you listen to every episode?
Okay. All right. You tell me when to say it.
All right. You go right now. Action.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I love my son's and Nick's podcast. I listen to every episode in the car when I'm driving to Adelaide, and they crack me up every time. And they're very, very informative, very intelligent young men. So everyone listen to this podcast.
So good.
Thank you, Fran.
That was so good. Thank you so much. Can we use it as an ad?
We'll pay you.
Yes.
Nick, I can't hear anything that you're saying, Nick, because you're on my Bluetooth headphones.
Okay,
Sorry.
never mind.
All right. Mum, if it's okay, I'll call you back after the...
I was just seeing how you are.
Okay, I'll call you back after this.
All right,
Nick says bye.
Bye. Bye, Nick.
Oh, how sweet was that?
Oh, great plug. Great plug. And I don't think it will feel forced the way you repeatedly asked for her approval. I feel like it's going to sound really believable and natural. And that's great.
You know, I've never really sought my mum's approval because it's just always implicitly been there.
Well, that's nice.
Isn't that nice? I just realized that. I've never questioned it at all.
Oh, how sweet. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
There you go. Fucking one-upped your fucking slide there, didn't I?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Dicks?
Oh, seance news. We're talking about the slide off from Halloween being a week, but Christmas being a hard out.
Oh God, what a bullshit rant that was. But yes, anyway, I have a great seance news coming up. We're doing time.
Okay. We did a lot of setup there to get to a point where we're just gonna say, anyway, that's later.
It's a teaser. It's a teaser.
It's a teaser. I don't think it's got any tease in it. It's not really. You haven't even talked about it. You just talked about the concept of seance news.
Do you want me to do it now?
No, I'm just saying if you're gonna tease, give us something.
Okay, it involves a celebrity.
Okay.
That's dead.
Ooh.
Obviously.
Uh-huh.
Because it's seance news.
Uh-huh.
And a very horny mum.
Okay. See, that's a tease. Now I want to know, but I guess we're just going to have to wait. Or if you're a podcast listener who has the benefit of being able to skip through the chapters, just click ahead. Just right now. I guess I'm the only one who technically has to wait.
That's fun. Anyway, what else is going on?
Oh,
We should just let that sink in a little bit.
you want more time to think about the horny mum and the dead celebrity?
No, that was my segue. Let that sink in. Elon.
I don't get it.
You know, he posted that photo of himself with the sink.
Oh God, yes, I tried to
was
erase
that
that
good?
from. It was good. That was a good setup, but I missed it because I tried to erase that moment from my brain.
Why? What was so bad about that?
It's just so
funny.
cringy. He brought a
I think
sink
it was
in.
funny.
I think one of the most revealing things about Elon Musk is that he has so much money, but the one thing he really wants is to be funny, and he just never is.
This is my main gripe with Elon, right? So we're just sliding into Elon chat now, /Twitter. My main gripe with Elon is that he is clearly an egomaniac.
Yes.
And he is clearly a narcissist, not as, well, you'll probably disagree with this, but not as, he's more harmless than Trump, but he's in the same way.
I'd agree with that.
But this is also why I think he's probably not going to let Trump back on Twitter, is because now he's the guy. You know, he doesn't want another fucking guy coming on. I mean, he's got Kanye, I guess, now, but Kanye's been completely trashed. But if he lets Trump back on Twitter, he takes a bit of away of his, his bubble or his shine, I feel like. But yeah, no, my least favorite thing about Elon is that he lacks a bit of self-awareness, but what I do like about Elon is that he does things like brings sinks in as a quote unquote publicity stunt, which is really quite lame, but also, if you think about it, pretty funny.
It's not even a publicity stunt. It's just him trying to be funny, right? Like,
Well,
Elon Musk doesn't need publicity, right? He's his own publicity. He has millions of fucking followers. He's the richest man on earth. He owns many highly scrutinized companies. Anything he does and says is automatically going to be news, right? So he doesn't need publicity. So the point of a gesture like that is either
he's trolling.
He's trolling, right? It's either trolling where he's like trying to be clever or funny, but not quite achieving it. Or I think there's like a sense of neediness to him as well, right? Like for all of the egomania, it does feel like he still wants approval.
Yes, he definitely.
And I feel
wants
like
approval.
that's him trying, like a move like that is him almost trying to like win over the user base.
He wants to be one of the cool guys.
Yeah,
which is very uncool. You know, he wants to be seen with celebrities. He wants to date celebrities. You know, he wants to be that guy. Like he is a genius. I don't think you could dispute that. He's got some other character flaws, but I feel like he is a genius, but he's a nerd that wants to be cool so bad, which is why he's perpetuating this Iron Man, you know, kind of mystique of himself. But you can tell that he's like just wants validation just from his fucking before and after photos over the last 20 years when he went fucking bald, you know, and then now he suddenly has a full head of hair. Like only someone who is vain and wants approval from people would really do that. Like Bezos, at least, you know. Well, Bezos is on fucking steroids. I don't know if you've seen those photos. He's on fucking steroids. He's become a fucking jacked Arnie guy out of nowhere. It's fucking weird. I mean, he's got like heaps of money, and if I had heaps of money and I was, you know, overweight too, I'd do the same. But it's all this kind of vanity thing. But yeah, Elon does desperately want to be one of the cool guys.
Jeff Bezos is now like kind of jacked.
Yeah, he's on roids. He's on the juice.
I mean, that's the thing of being a billionaire, right? Like you can just spend money to get someone to cook all your meals and give you all the best advice and be your like 24/7 trainer and get achievement like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's performance enhancing.
Well, drugs, you know, but that's the thing is, well, right, he can get anything that he fucking wants.
Except respect.
Yeah. The Elon behavior things. I think genius is an interesting one to me because it's very hard to tell at a distance. But I'm not sure, this is a genuine question, I'm not sure how much of what Elon achieves is great ideas, great revolutionary ideas or technical concepts or code or strategies like straight out of the brain, and how much is, for lack of a better word, drive or discipline or like business nous. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to separate a little bit of like actual technical, either technical or creative intelligence from like successfulness, drive, and high functioning like achievement. Do you see what I mean between those two things?
Yep.
So like you can be a Jeff Bezos, and I don't know if Jeff Bezos is seen as a creative guy or like a genius, but he's definitely seen as like incredibly talented businessman, a sort of perhaps a semi-ruthless taskmaster. You know, like really the culture of Amazon is very intensive, very high optimized kind of, you know, environment. And he's clearly led a company in that way to an incredible degree of success, both off the back of, distribution networks and like the logistical back end of running an online company, right? But I don't think anyone points to him unless you're maybe in
no one calls him a
business
genius.
in a business circle.
Sure, business genius.
But I don't think they're seeing him in that line. And what I'm asking aloud, because I don't really have an idea around, is whether Elon actually also has that capacity as a genuine creative or innovative problem solver, or if he's just very good at either business, administration stuff, motivation stuff, finance, like making really smart bets on things, like seeing the future and knowing what he wants to work towards and getting there, which is definitely intelligence and which is definitely accomplishment. But do you have a sense whether he's actually the guy with the brain,
Well, yeah, it's a very interesting distinction. And perhaps, maybe as opposed to Bezos, who no one's really calling a genius because, he's got a good business sense and that's all well and good. And that takes a lot of skill and a lot of intelligence, as you said. But I feel like Elon, maybe because of the way he's associated himself with the projects that he's initiated, i.e. going to Mars and, Tesla and, what are the other things like solar power
PayPal
and stuff?
The Boring Company, batteries, that kind of stuff. No, as in the Boring Company is that Hyperloop, the underground tunnel network thing. Yeah.
I thought you were just slagging him off.
No, that's the name.
Underhand. But I feel like maybe because of they're considered more like highbrow or at least more like scientific. So automatically
they're aspirational, right?
So maybe genius is not the right word. Maybe visionary is the right word.
I could see that. I could buy that a bit more in the sense that I do believe that he really has a vision as to what the future could be.
Yeah.
And is working to get there, right? Same thing with all of the like automated humanoid robot stuff. Like that side of it is him seeing cool science fiction shit because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm a fucking billionaire. I want it. Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah.
So he is definitely visionary. I'll give him that. The other one that I sort of could throw in the mix here is Steve Jobs, who was a billionaire by the end of it, very rich, very successful, led a company which I think is perceived as having been creative or innovative, right? Apple was that thing. But I have a feeling that Jobs gets called a genius more often, or perhaps even slightly more accurately, because I think he was the guy. Like he was the guy who had a taste. Like one of those things that Apple really did was have a look and a feel, right? And it was for many years there, Steve Jobs. It was him saying, that's not good enough. This should look like this. This doesn't work. And he was very focused on certain things like that. And it really was him as tastemaker or as judge, jury, executioner. And perhaps that's why that label there sticks a little bit better for me than it does for Musk.
Yeah, I guess it's just hard to know. I mean, look, I personally have 3 degrees of separation from Elon, famously, and hearing stories about how he operates, it seems like he's operating on a very high level, and hearing him talk on podcasts such as the Joe Rogan yeah, baby, yeah, dude. He is definitely different, and
he's on the spectrum, right? He's said that he has Asperger's, which is
he?
Yeah, he said that he was the first person with Asperger's to host SNL, which I think was not actually true because Dan Aykroyd has. But anyhow,
that makes sense.
The some of those mannerisms, I think, are visible externally.
Yeah. I mean, I see anyone with Asperger's and I automatically think they're a genius, to be honest.
Okay, sure.
So I don't. Maybe that just extends to Elon.
Yeah. what was that? The SNL thing was not his.
Well, this is all part of the validation, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, right? Wanting
don't
to be
need to
funny,
do
wanting to
this.
be seen. But
Yeah.
it didn't. I don't know that it came off super well for him. But I mean, he's not gonna have any regrets, is he?
But this is so. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was that.
Should we just say briefly? Sorry, I was going to say it
Sure,
a moment earlier.
yeah.
Do you want to say what you mean by 3 degrees of separation in any more clarity than that?
Oh, I just know someone that worked with Elon, but I got told off last time for even mentioning it. So
Sure.
that's all I can say.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. It's just worth restating.
Yeah, but it's someone that listens to the podcast.
Mm-hmm. He's going to love this episode, or she, or anyone.
What was I going to say? I lost it. Oh, we
sorry.
haven't even talked about why we're talking about Elon. So do you want to?
Well, I think everyone probably has a sense, right? He bought Twitter. He spent $40 billion to buy Twitter.
Bargain.
He put the deal in, then he tried to get out of it, and then Twitter held him to the deal that he'd agreed to, so he did buy it, and then he promptly fired just about the entire C-suite, took over the company itself, brought in some of his Tesla and other associated company executives, and is very quickly shaking things up around the old Twitter sphere, including floating paid memberships for the blue tick and saying they're going to fire a quarter of the workforce in the next week or two. So times are changing.
So tell me what your big gripe is with this whole transition.
I mean, in terms of the Twitter thing, the specific Twitter thing is actually more complex for me. Twitter famously is a shit company, right? From the outset.
In what sense?
From the outset, they have never really made a profit. They've been around for fucking 15, 18 years or something now. And barring like maybe 1 or 2 years in the past decade, they have just made a loss every year. So they're poorly run, right? And yet, I should say, they still maintain an incredibly powerful role in the discourse because it is the platform of choice for particularly politicians, journalists, and others, right? Celebrities. So they have basically been punching above their weight because their general user base is maybe, I forget what it is now, 400 million people? Something like that. 330 million monthly active users. So, which is noticeably smaller than just about every other social network. But it has sort of an outsized role in the media and the discourse because that's where a lot of those people interact with each other. So from that perspective, they are a poorly run company. They've never turned a profit other than those rare exceptions, right?
And Facebook didn't for a while as well.
Sure. But now Facebook is an ad money machine, right? Like they turn over billions of dollars in ads. And Twitter...
And this is what Elon's kind of said that he's going to do, is kind of turn it into a business that can make money, right?
Correct. Yeah. So he is... the Twitter business has never really successfully become an advertising service. It's not really their strong suit. They've been very slow moving in terms of implementing and iterating new features. Like for years, everyone is saying, give us an edit button. For years, everyone's saying, please ban all the Nazis. There's a lot of like bots and spam and all this kind of shit. And they have just been dragging their heels or just poorly run. And yet they have so many fucking thousands of employees, like thousands and thousands. And one of the sort of famous computer engineering adages is that adding workers to a late project only makes the project later. Like they have actually arguably too many people. So one of the interesting takes that I've seen sort of within the tech sphere as this shakedown has happened, as Musk has come in and taken over, is a statement that both things can be true. Elon Musk is perhaps not the person we want running this company, but Twitter is also not a very well-run company. So it probably isn't actually unreasonable to fire 4,000 engineers if that still leaves you with 10,000 engineers because they haven't been making anything. So what's the fucking point of having all these people around if it's just, gumming up the works effectively?
Yeah.
So Musk is probably correct that there were sensible business optimizations that could be made. I think the issue for a lot of people is that they like Twitter as a place for nice people, and that they arguably want it to be nicer because a lot of women or people of color or whatever get regularly harassed on it. And Musk's position has been, we want this to be the free speech place, and so you can say whatever you want, which then is just open slather. So I think that's where
it's 4chan.
Yeah, it just becomes like fucking Truth Social then, right? So the appeal of Twitter would just disintegrate for people if it became such a free-for-all, which is then, I guess, why all of this discourse has happened about, what's going to become of this company and where do we go and what's the alternative, that kind of thing.
I was listening to Scott Galloway, who's a professor, and he often commentates on these sorts of things. He's an American, and he was saying that part of basically Elon doesn't really know what he wants. He knows that he's got a couple of friends, or he knows a couple of people that are outspoken about, I don't know, trans issues or gender issues or whatever, and they've been kind of banned on Twitter. So he's kind of saying, well, I'm going to make my platform, when it is my platform, a kind of an open town square where anyone can come and say whatever they want. However, that already exists, and that's 4chan, and that is a shit show.
Yeah, and it's 4chan, and it's Truth Social, and it's Mastodon, and a whole bunch of these services already are out there, right?
Exactly, and if your goal, as he has stated, it is to make money, then you need advertisers, and advertisers want security that people are going to stick around and not be harassed.
Yeah.
So there is a
furthermore, advertisers don't want their product to be there, and then the immediate tweet either side of them is fucking anti-Semitic, like racist bullshit, where someone can then screen cap, and it's like Pepsi is advertising next to the Nazis.
Sure. So there is a balance to be made there. Like I do agree with some of his concerns that there does seem to be, and this is because Twitter is is made by the elite for the elite, essentially, and then it's just kind of tweeting things downstream to the plebs. That's what it feels like. It's that's what the blue tick is all about. You listen to those people with the blue ticks, but it feels like there is a definite, like a left-leaning bent to what gets banned. And you're smiling already.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. A left-leaning bent to what
there is
gets
a left
banned,
as in
it seems all the racist shit gets banned, and that's right-leaning.
No, I mean in terms of like the people like J.K. Rowling. You're saying that there are
J.K. Rowling's still on Twitter.
You're going to tell me that J.K. Rowling's never been banned?
I don't think so. She's on Twitter.
I don't know if she has. I don't know if she has. But like, these types of things where people are saying, things that are kind of factual and yes, probably provocative towards, the trans community, but at the end of the day, factual and getting banned for those types of things. I think I understand and I'm sympathetic to...
Wait, what part of the factual things that Rowling was
saying?
Well,
there have been instances of people saying, you can't be a woman with a penis. I'm just distilling this into like one soundbite here, but like just kind of statements that are inflammatory because of where we are as a society, but at the end of the day, factually correct, right? Like
how is that factually correct?
Women don't have penises.
But some women do have penises.
Right. See, I don't want to get into this. Even though I brought it up, but I don't want to get into this. But like, this is what I'm saying. People are tweeting this out and then getting banned because that's like a hate crime or whatever. I agree. I am sympathetic to that. And I think there is like, it's a tricky space. But I do also think that Elon does not know what he wants. And if he wants an open town square where anyone can come and say whatever the fuck they want, then he's gonna massively shoot himself in the foot, because no one's gonna stick around for that. Like, at least no advertiser are going to. I've seen like a lot of people, including yourself, saying that they're gonna leave Twitter. I feel like it's more like that is like, oh, if Trump gets into power, I'm moving to Canada, and then no one really moves to Canada. They just like to say it. So that's what my sense is. But like, if Twitter cannot fund itself through advertising, or if it can't turn a profit and Elon gets bored, which I think is probably more likely, then you've got nothing again. And then it will, turn into an absolute shit show like 4chan.
Yeah, some interesting points there. The one about people saying, I'm going to leave Twitter, and whether it's the same as I'm going to move to Canada, I think is inapt, because the complexity and cost of stopping using Twitter is a lot lower than moving to Canada, right?
I'm saying the sentiment is the same.
The sentiment, sure.
Like if all of your people that you're following are still going to stay on there, you're going to stay on there.
It's a lot easier. But that's the thing. All the people I'm following are also already other places, right? Like most of the celebrities are not just only on Twitter, right? They'll all have an Instagram. They'll all have like a Facebook page, right? There will be other ways to follow these people. So stopping Twitter, if you're a, I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence fan. She's probably not on Twitter, but whatever. Like she's going to be on Instagram. Like they're all everywhere, because that's part of their marketing and PR strategy is to be everywhere.
Same. I mean, right? you can't if you want to fire off, just something that's in your head, which is what Twitter is. It's just firing off thing that's in your head. You can't just put that on a fancy little backdrop and stuff.
Twitter is the only text-based, text-first social media. Absolutely. Like it is unique, which is why a lot of people, grew addicted to it and loved it. The other thing I just wanted to add about the like, people are not going to leave, or this is not going to just like end suddenly, is the case study of Dig. Do you remember Dig? Did you ever hear of Dig? No. Dig was a website, early 2000s, I'd say 2000 to 2004 was the big era of it. Dig was basically a Reddit kind of model where users would find links, post them to the site in different, well, the word I'd use is Reddit, but I forget what the term back then was. Different communities, you post links, the most of them would be voted on, and the most popular would float up to the top, and it was like a here's the news of the day kind of thing, and there'd be comments, like that kind of thing. Right. And it was huge and popular and trendy, and they launched a new version of the website, version 3, I think it was, and it de-emphasized some of the user features, and it prominently featured paid media company content instead of the organic user-driven content. And 12 days later, the site was dead. 12 days. It was less than 2 weeks, and millions upon millions upon millions of users left the site, and it died. And you just don't hear about it. You've never heard of it. I think there was a primordial version of it that was relaunched a few years ago. But basically, everyone there moved to Reddit. And now Reddit is the place, right? Reddit actually predated Dig, but they became effectively more mainstream once Dig died. So in this industry, in the tech industry, very truly, genuinely, this shit can fall over fast. So
Okay.
I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that there could be true turmoil when it comes to Twitter in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I guess if you're dealing with, I'm not sure what Dig was, but like if you're dealing
Just
with
think
people
Reddit.
who are kind of in the know already, like Reddit is, you said mainstream and it has become more mainstream, but it is still not accessed by, Joe
Sure.
Blow.
Yeah.
And so basically what you'd have to do if the same thing was to happen to Twitter, you'd have to get like celebrities en masse to leave. And yeah, it sounds like a few of them are, but like is everyone really going to leave?
Who knows?
And will it just, if that's the case, then you're just kind of left with a kind of a right wing army or a centrist army filled with, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and a few of my other favorite dudes.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing where Elon Musk was tweeting with Stephen King. And again, it is... So one of the things that was a little bit controversial was this proposal of having to pay for a blue tick, which had previously, and very unreliably, been just freely handed out to politicians or celebrities to prove that they're a legitimate person.
But and then it became this status symbol.
Exactly. Yeah. And it
So
does
do you
have
agree with the decision to kind of level that playing field there? On paper, it seems like a good idea, doesn't it?
I mean, it's a little bit rich to be like, it used to be a lords and peasants system, and the lords got to have the tick and the peasants didn't. And to then be like, now all the peasants need to do is pay $8 a month, and then you can be a lord. And it's like, no, they're already fucking peasants. That's why they don't have the money. It's just a strange... It's a strange thing.
It's not a high price to pay for that, though.
I mean...
Like if it was $50 a month, it would be a different story. $8 a month, now you're going to get people who would... Like, it's going to be disgusting. All these people who are desperate to get the blue tick. And then it's going to be this... I forget what the term is, but where you kind of wash out the market and everything loses its value.
Yeah.
And then now everyone's got a blue tick and you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
it's got no currency.
It ruins the original purpose of the blue tick, right? Which was to prove the legitimacy of identity, right? Where if you had Stephen King on your website and he had the tick, you knew that this is actually Stephen King talking and not someone pretending to be Stephen King. Well, that doesn't fucking matter if you're trying to verify that you're Joe Blogs. No one fucking cares. It doesn't matter. No one was trying to impersonate Joe Blogs. It doesn't mean anything. I do understand the idea of the functions that were locked off to verified users, like being able to sort by best tweets and certain degrees of filtering and that kind of thing. That probably should be with everyone. That seems like a useful tool set that everyone should benefit from. But I don't understand blending that with the identity verification side of it.
But
anyway,
if it's kind of leveling it in that sense, and even if it does lose its currency to have the blue tick, then it doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. And then on some level, it does become more mainstream Twitter, and rather than having this, elite versus
it becomes more Facebook, where it's
more
like
Reddit. Yeah.
You're
Reddit.
you, but do people want to be that person on Twitter? It's a different sort of service, right?
You are you. You're definitely you. But does anyone care? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
Just to get to my point as well about the Stephen King thing, right? If you have acclaimed genius author Stephen King writing on your platform constantly, you should be fucking praising the gods and not doing anything to fuck it up, right? You have an award-winning, historically famous, accomplished author using your service.
You don't hesitate at calling Stephen King a genius.
I mean, look, I think he's probably proven it, right? If you've got that guy using your platform to talk to their fans, fucking let them do it. Don't then turn around and say, that'll be $8, please. He's fucking Stephen King. You should be paying him. It is so backwards to me. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well, is that if he does open it up, as he said that he would, isn't there this other thing that I feel like was in the kind of the zeitgeist or the discussion a couple of years ago, that you are responsible for what people publish on your site. So if people are posting the N word 50 times, or they're Kanye West and they're saying, that Jews are,
all the Nazi
fucking
conspiracy
devil,
theories.
then are you liable?
No, I
for
don't
that?
think you are. I don't think that's true.
Okay. I feel like that was in the conversation a
It
couple
could
of
have
years
been.
ago.
It could have been.
Maybe with Facebook, like, are you responsible for if you don't moderate anything? But that's the other thing. Isn't he offering levels of moderation for people to opt into? You can opt into whatever level of. There's like 5 levels of moderation, and
That might
it
be
will automatically
speculation.
do it.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
The one that, so there was a really good article that I did actually link on our Facebook page already. That was up from The Verge. Nilay Patel wrote it. I don't know if you read it previously, but I thought they did a very concise takeaway of the situation that he's in now, because I do think that the various competing forces, on Twitter and around Twitter on Elon are going to be impossible to reconcile. He's going to piss off both of them probably in a way that is going to be very difficult to reconcile and to actually make money from. So I might just read a little bit of this article here by Nilay Patel, and it's I'll put it in the chapter title. This article is called "Welcome to Hell, Elon. You break it, you buy it" by Nilay Patel. It starts, "You fucked up real good, kiddo. Twitter is a disaster clown car company that is successful despite itself, and there's no possible way to grow users and revenue without making a series of enormous compromises that will ultimately destroy your reputation and possibly cause grievous damage to your other companies." He says, "You are now the king of Twitter, and people think that you personally are going to be responsible for everything that happens on Twitter now. It also turns out that absolute monarchs usually get murdered when shit goes sideways." As we talked about earlier, he says you cannot reasonably expect to collect any meaningful advertising revenue if you do not promise those advertisers brand safety, which means you have to ban the racism, sexism, transphobia, and other kinds of other speech that's totally legal in the United States, but reveals people to be total assholes. So you can make all the promises about free speech you want, but the dull reality is that you still have to ban a bunch of legal speech if you want to make money. And when you start doing that, your new right-wing fanboys are going to viciously turn on you like they turn on every other social network that realizes the same essential truth.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is that I guess my point before was that the idea of what is considered transphobic, for example, is subjective to a degree.
Yes, I think that's true.
And some people feel like one thing is transphobic and other people feel like it's not.
I might just wrap up the end of this article here, actually.
Yep.
The content moderation business is a shit fight. It is knowing what to ban and what not to ban is a fucking headache. Everyone hates the person who does content moderation. And internationally, there are so many political issues that I just don't feel like Elon Musk is going to be interested in dealing with. He's going to be dragged in front of Congress and forced to testify about, whatever the tech topic du jour is, right? Germany is a huge market for Tesla. This article says, are you going to flout German speech laws? Probably not. The Indian government demands social media companies provide potential hostages in order to operate in the country. You can't engineer your way out of that. Are you ready to experience the pressure Twitter faces in the Middle East to block and restrict accounts? Are you ready for the fact that the Iranian government will murder people over their social media posts? Are you excited for how the Chinese government will find ways to threaten Tesla's business in that country over content that appears in Twitter? Because it's going to happen. Content moderation is what Twitter makes, right? It is the thing that they do. They choose what to allow and what not to allow. It's the thing that defines the user experience. It's what YouTube makes. It's what Instagram makes. It's what TikTok makes. They all try to incentivize good stuff, disincentivize bad stuff, and delete the really bad stuff. That's the business that Elon Musk is in now. The longer you fight it or pretend you can sell something else, the more that Twitter will drag you into the deepest possible muck, defending indefensible speech. And if you turn on a dime and accept that growth requires aggressive content moderation and pushing back against government speech regulations around the world, well, we'll see how your fans react to that. Anyway, welcome to hell. This was your idea. It's a good article.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the other thing that I didn't actually quite realize about Elon is that he is, which complicates this whole Twitter thing further, is that he has 50% or something of, is Tesla is owned by the PRC.
It's like
something
Saudi
value
investments, right?
The People's Republic of China. Like China fucking owns that guy. Like,
yeah.
And he's in their pockets big time. So like how is he going to navigate that space if he's on some level beholden to them?
It like the political side of it is very tricky, and I've heard some people talking about that now that he's in charge of a massive platform like that, like the US government will have to do some like investigations into what that means for potential security risks and that sort of thing. Now that he is such a big target and given the possible influence that various other countries and things might have or want on him, it does make it very curious.
That'd be interesting. But we're all rooting for you, Elon. Always love an underdog. Love an underdog.
Except his dad. Did you hear that thing about his dad?
No.
He said that he is the father of Elon Musk, Errol Musk.
Brilliant.
Was asked if he was proud of
anagram.
It's not. Okay.
Basically.
You can't say basically. It doesn't
Palindrome.
count. All words are basically anagrams of every other word.
Palindrome.
If you're just allowing a fuzzy degree of. Anyway, Errol Musk was asked if he was proud of Elon's accomplishments, and he said no. No, we as a family. We are a family that have been doing a lot of things for a long time. It's not as if we suddenly started doing something. So he took some.
Wow.
He had some real shade on his.
He sounds jealous. He's like, we've done heaps of other stuff, actually.
Well, Errol is the guy who owned the fucking emerald mine, right? Like that was Elon Musk's childhood, right? In South Africa with his dad, like fucking running an emerald mine.
Well, that takes a bit away of the genius shine, doesn't it? If your daddy's in the biz.
Yeah, a lot. He was very, very rich from a very, very young age.
Anyway, everyone that's still left on Twitter will be going to Mars in 2032.
If you can stick it out, if you pay the $8 a month, you do get to go to Mars. So
and he'll be renaming Mars Twitter.
Yeah. Maybe the $8 a month just gives you a chance to marry Elon Musk because he likes to get around a little bit, that Musk.
He likes to get around that Musk.
Yeah.
Oh, we love him.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this podcast, well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. Maybe you should tell people on Twitter about it. We've got a Twitter that you could go to. It's twitter.com/deepthought. But if that's not your thing and you're feeling like you might want to, head to other platforms, great news. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I think those are the only platforms. But we do have an email address, deepthought@gmail.com. You can rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and you can find tracks and things on Spotify and other bits and pieces too. So get amongst and, tweet it out. #cool.
You sure can, Nick. Great outro. And our Instagram is blowing up. Got over. It hasn't moved from I think 101 followers.
That's all you need, though, right?
2 months. Yeah, you don't need more than 100.
That's all you need.
Past 101, it's greedy.
Yeah.
And only half of those are bots, which is really nice, actually.
That's a good odds.
Ratio.
Yeah.
Very nice odds.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we dive into a little spookiness?
Okay, well then let's jump straight into some seance news.
All right.
Play the jing.
Was that the jingle?
Okay, fuck, now I'm gonna start it again.
Okay.
Oh no. That cursed time. Seance news.
Satanist, Lucifer, Ouija board. Blood of the innocent, blood of the innocent, blood.
Are you gonna talk or okay?
Well, it was leaving time for the jingle, but then
Why would you
forgot
leave
that I
that
don't
much
need
time?
I forgot that you don't need to leave the exact amount of time.
Yeah, it's just
to
like
play the jingle.
we do
So
edit
you
it
could just
afterwards.
push it out. Forgot how editing works. Right. Woman claims she's married to Michael Jackson's ghost.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you ready for this?
This is
Are
spooky.
you ready for this?
I don't know if I am.
Kathleen Roberts says she's been living. Sorry. Kathleen Roberts says he, Michael Jackson, has been living through her and communicating with her as a husband.
Oh,
Intrigued?
I've got goosebumps.
Scared? Kathleen Roberts, by the way, incredible name. Incredible name.
Is it?
Totally someone that Michael Jackson would be married to.
White.
As a woman named Kathleen, last name Roberts.
White.
Extremely white, Nick.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
No, I
but
prefer to
yes.
just imagine it.
Well, I very much guess that what you're imagining is on the money based on
Yes.
this photo. Kathleen Roberts. So Kathleen Roberts is a medium.
Oh,
and
well,
a
that helps.
And it does self-declared reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, and the
Well,
alleged wife
that's already a very interesting turn, because now it means the ghost of Michael Jackson is married to the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe.
Now, just let me tell you, just going back to the photo that is supplied of Kathleen Roberts to this,
Looks exactly like her.
the similarities between Marilyn Monroe and Kathleen do not extend to the physical realm, I would say.
It's more an emotional similarity.
Yeah, it's perhaps more of a personality type. I don't know. I've never met her.
She's just like standing over sewers.
According to Roberts, she and Jackson's ghost have been married ever since he proposed clairvoyantly with a pink engagement ring. Very classy. Now get this, another twist for you. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. allegedly, we don't want to,
we
don't want to
can't
be
state
libelous
for
here,
a legal fact. Yeah.
but allegedly Martin Luther King Jr. officiated the ceremony when she was getting out of the bathtub.
Wait. Okay, I have so many questions. First, the pink ring. Is this in a vision? Is there a physical ring? Did she buy herself a ring?
No, this happened.
It happened.
It definitely happened.
Okay, so she has a physical pink ring on
She's
her
got a
finger.
physical metaphorical ring, yes.
Okay, right.
Why is that so hard to understand?
Well, I'm just trying to know which part, because we're talking about the ghost of Michael Jackson. I guess I was not sure whether or not he was like visibly there in the room.
Nick, Kathleen was having a bath, and then she got out of the bath and was surprised by a wedding officiated by Martin Luther King Jr. with a pink ring.
Wait.
What is so hard to understand?
Okay, so were they dating before this, or was it just she discovered at her own wedding that this was all happening at once, and she was like, wow, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., whoa, and my new husband, the formerly alive pop star, Michael Jackson.
I assume all will be revealed, Nick, as I've only read the headline.
Okay.
So far, so I'm learning with you.
Okay, good.
Roberts believes Jackson's ghost sought her out because of her resemblance to his longtime fascination, Marilyn Monroe. So there you go. Reports claim Jackson displayed a large... Oh, this is just about his, obsession with Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, quote Kathleen, I feel special that he chose me for a wife, though not on paper. We treat our relationship as though we are married, which is great. Because
Okay, so he's
they
stuck
are
around.
married.
He's stuck around. He's
in
in
for
the
the long
house.
haul.
He's doing the laundry. He's there at night on the pillow next to her.
Yeah, he's doing the dishes, I imagine,
Sure.
taking out the trash. We have our ups and downs, Kathleen goes on. But Michael, the truth is, I just can't stop loving you, which is very cute because that's
one of the
it's one of the songs.
lyrics. Yeah.
How exactly does a ghost marriage function? Well, Roberts claims that Jackson uses her body through possession or channeling, if you refer to it professionally, she says, to sing, dance, and eat like a normal human being. That's 100% normal, I would say. Most days, Kathleen says, his vibe is pretty relaxed.
Oh,
More than anything, he's pretty chill. More than anything, he's just happy to enjoy living through me and communicating with me as a husband. Right. Michael stays in me all the time, so he comes to the restroom with me and calls these special bonding moments toiletries.
Wait.
Comes with her to take a shit. That's a good husband. That's a good husband. Holds her hand. But Nick, there's even more. He loves cookies. He loves cookies. Which I think surprises no one. Surprises no one that he loves cookies.
What I like to now imagine, this whole thing is just because someone saw our Kathleen. She'd bought like a jumbo pack of cookies, and she was just really getting into them. And they were like, "Oh, Kathleen, you sure you should be having that many cookies? Like that's quite a lot of cookies." And she's like, "It's not me.
It's just a little.
I've got the ghost of Michael Jackson in me."
That's brilliant if shit is.
And
that's even better than the truth,
one
which
truth.
is that she's married to his ghost.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read the rest of this quote. He actually cusses a lot more than I'd expect him to.
Oh, God.
That's surprising. Given that he talks like a 5-year-old child.
Yeah.
He talks to me a lot, which is not what I expected from the shy man I saw on TV all those years.
Right.
Yeah, last little bit here. He doesn't like being touched. He doesn't like being touched back. He scares me with spider visions and dead corpse visions if I kiss him or try to initiate physical romance. He's actually very bossy and points things out like flaws and mistakes I make. Oh, wait. There's more. She gives context. I assume he got that from his father.
Oh.
So I try to overlook that because I love it and I am not perfect either.
Okay.
So he actually is kind of a dick.
Yeah. It's like a lot of relationships take work, you gotta put in the effort.
But I like that she's gone that far just to be like, I know why he's like this.
Yeah.
It's because he's had a trouble.
It's because of his troubled childhood.
And that's why he likes to fuck little boys as well, which is another thing that surprised her.
Yeah. I don't believe this because she's not 12.
You don't believe this. That's good. Yes, that's probably true as well. She's not 12 and not a boy.
Yes.
So, but she does look like Marilyn Monroe, apparently, according to
But you've
herself.
seen a picture.
Yeah. She looks, I would say she looks less like Marilyn Monroe and more like a female Marilyn Monroe and more like a female Boy George.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Well,
can
so
imagine
maybe that is Michael's type.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you to post the photo of the two of them together in
there's a photo of the
chapter.
two of them together.
There's a selfie, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Of sorts.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's
pretty
some
spooky.
spooky news.
Very scary. Very scary stuff.
And I think arguably right on time, mid-November.
Just in time for the end of Halloween.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a small myth.
Yeah, I'm stacked with myths, but yeah, do you want to just chuck in
Just chuck a myth in.
Chuck a myth in.
Can I tell you?
Just,
and this would be seen as going full circle if it wasn't for the fact that we have cut the very beginning of this podcast, which was the start of the circle. So it's not full circle, but I suppose emotionally there's a symmetry here.
Emotional shit.
I got a myth.
Michael's moved, annoyed, displeased, riled up, offended, aggrieved, irritated, chagrined, pissed off, put out, resentful, and peaked, discontented. Michael's moved.
I feel like there's been a lot of experimentation in the toilet paper ply realm, and it's all worthless.
Go on.
Classic toilet paper, 2-ply, right?
Yeah.
Works, does the job, perfect, right? Everyone's happy with a 2-ply.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the experience of being in an airport or, a gym or a workplace.
A 1-ply,
you find a 1-ply.
yeah.
And you're like,
No,
this is bullshit. And it's bullshit for everyone because we all know what to do with a 1-ply. You take twice as much of it and then you scrunch it up. So you're using effectively the
100%.
same number of sheets. But with a 2-ply, we can be reasonable. And with a 1-ply, we're having to, stick it to the man to get done what needs done, right? Here's where the myth comes in, because I thought, there was a linear progression here. You get up to a 3-ply now, right? There's this luxury sector at the top of the market now, where the businesses have said, okay, I think we can improve on this. If you like 2-ply, just wait till you hear what we've got. We've added another ply. It's all a joke. It's a farce. A 3-ply, not worth it. I don't know. Have you tried a 3-ply? It is.
Never experienced a 3.
It is. It's closer to actual paper, right? So the more plies you get, the closer you get to an actual just piece of like computer paper.
Rigid.
It's like wiping your ass with a piece of paper. It's actually too firm. Why are we fucking around with all of this experimentation? We've worked it out. 2-ply is all you need, and they're charging more for it.
But it doesn't cushion.
It's not. It's more like a sandpaper. It becomes too firm.
Is it just the one that you tried?
I've tried multiple 3-ply brands. It becomes too thick.
Wow, too thick for
and
Nick.
I feel like that we're deluding ourselves. We're flying too close to the sun.
I'd like to try a 3-ply, but yeah, so is it just like kind of folding in half?
Yeah, it's a very
automatically.
It's an unnecessarily dense wipe.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think a wipe of the ass is akin to a wipe of the vagina? Because now I'm just thinking of all the single ladies out there who are experiencing the same. Like, surely the vagina is more sensitive than the butthole. So they must be in hell.
I mean, I could see pros for a thicker piece of paper for someone of the feminine persuasion, but at the same time, I do think you're at risk of abrasion.
Yeah,
I think that the risk is too high. I don't know. We'll have to. If you're a 3-ply person, please chime in. But I feel like this is hubris. This is technology that mankind should not have meddled with, and I don't think that it's worth it.
I'm with you, bro. And do you guys spend money on good toilet paper at home?
I'm not stingy. Yeah, I'll fork out for like a brand name. Yeah, I'll go for a sorbent. I'll go for a Kleenex.
Yeah, sorbent. Yeah, I like a sorbent. The one with the dogs on it, I like. It's also weird that they put babies on a lot of the
Well, it's because they've stopped letting you wipe your ass with babies.
They used to do that?
They used to let you do it, but now it's frowned upon.
Middle Ages.
Yeah,
that makes sense, actually.
That's why they had so many kids back then.
Oh, it's toilet paper.
Yeah, it was toilet paper use.
Literally had never put that together.
Yeah, well, this is what we learn on this podcast.
Wow, fun fact as well.
Fun facts, you gotta. Fun facts, the fun facts. People used to wipe their ass with babies.